From coffee to shampoo to hand sanitizer, First Stop Shop is your one-stop, conveniently located at the nearest Delta Petroleum gas station.
Delta Petroleum, serving the Caribbean.
Today is the last day of the month of April. We made it. Good morning. It is THG News Today with Mervyn Hanley. It's Tuesday, 30th April. The news this morning, of course, is sponsored by Delta Petroleum. Then we have Carl & Sons on St. Martin, 2 locations on the island. You'll find them on the Ponfil and in Colby, and Feezes on Nevis. Of course, what do I always say? Remember, you have to subscribe if you have not already done so to our YouTube channel. Here is where you get the latest and best in news, entertainment, weather, especially weather coming up very soon across some of the islands. So you know that you have to stay logged on to THG Network, THG News Today. And what better way, if you have not already, but to subscribe to our channel. We're going to get right into the news this morning. We see that the governor of Anguilla, she would have issued a press statement regarding what many are saying the government's intention to scrap the voters' registration list and disenfranchise legitimate voters. Of course, the governor is saying this is not correct. And so I'll read a press statement from the governor of Anguilla, and then we'll take it from there. This statement reads as follows. I am making this statement following media speculation that a decision has been taken to scrap the voters' registration list and disenfranchise legitimate voters. This is not correct. As governor, I have a responsibility to uphold good governance, and that includes free and fair elections in Anguilla. Anguilla's constitution sets out that the right to vote is dependent on being registered to vote, and to be registered, an individual must be resident in the electoral district of registration. In 2020, the High Court of Anguilla clarified that to be a resident, a person must have a permanent and settled presence in that electoral district, meaning a physical presence, not just a transient purpose. There have been a series of independent reports on the electoral process in Anguilla over the last few years, making various recommendations to improve the election process. Of most relevance are reports from the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association in 2015 and 2020, and 2 from the Anguilla Independent Citizens Organization in 2020 and 2022. I'm reviewing all their recommendations. While the reports contained a range of recommendations, one that appears consistently is a need to review the voters' register because of the number of voters on the register who are not resident in Anguilla. The CPA stated that the approach to voter registration has meant there has been little or no scrutiny of Anguillians residing abroad, allowing them to vote in significant numbers. It has been estimated that 40% of voters on the list reside abroad or on neighboring islands. I'm aware that the practice of Anguillians living overseas and returning to vote is a practice that has occurred for many years, and also that many Anguillians resident overseas make a significant contribution to Anguilla. Nonetheless, these independent reports clearly raise questions about the integrity of the register that can't be ignored. We therefore need to find a way to align the requirements of the Constitution with what happens in practice. I appreciate that the timing of these discussions may raise questions, but it's important to note that while the issue has been recognized for some time, the need to address it has not gone away. Moving forward, I'm committed to transparent and inclusive dialogue. No final decisions have been taken, and any decisions regarding the electoral process will be made in consultation with all relevant parties. As governor of Anguilla, I am committed to listening to the community, upholding good governance principles, and ensuring an electoral process that is free and fair. And that's from the governor of Anguilla. It's good to hear from the governor on this matter. You know, even though I detect a tone there, it's good to hear from her, because I know that there's a lot of pressure coming in from not only just the media, but also from the opposition regarding this. And yes, the Constitution states one thing, but what about the timing? We may say, or some may argue, hey, we don't care about the timing. The point is, something needs to happen. And yes, you may be right, something needs to happen. But look at when something is about to happen, on the eve of an election. And you're telling me that won't raise eyebrows somewhere? So everybody must clap, clap, be happy and go along, and that won't raise eyebrows? That you want to take people off of a voters list just before an election? Yes, I understand what the Constitution says, don't get me wrong, but the perception, And I know those of you who are living on Anguilla, you can't feel good, even if you support the government. You cannot feel good to know that your relatives who live overseas may be taken off the voters list. You cannot feel good knowing that, right? And the governor, she's saying that this must be fair and balanced, and she will, this must be aligned in what's supposed to be right and all of that. And yes, I agree with her. But the governor came from a country where the UK, they amended the laws to allow UK citizens, no matter where they live around the world, to vote in an election. So what is the difference? Why can't that be the same for Anguilla or any other British overseas territory? Yes, I agree. I believe that when it comes to the electoral process, it must be fair and things must be in place. I am for all of that. And I am not against all of that, But my thing is, the timing of all this on the eve of an election. And if the governor is stating in her statement that there has been reports from since 2020, 2022, and all of that, and nobody, even to as far as back as 2015, from what I'm reading here, from the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, and you're telling me from all that time nobody did anything, which was not the right thing for not doing anything, but you're going to wait until the eve of an election to do that? And you had 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and you're going to come in 2024 on the eve of an election to do such a thing. I mean, come on. Yes, you may have the facts on your side, and you may have the Constitution on your side, but what about on the eve of an election? If you do that on the eve of an election, no matter the election result, there'll always be a dark cloud on this election in Anguilla, no matter the result. Whether it's the APM or whether it's the Anguilla United Front, there's going to be a dark cloud over it if this is done on the eve of an election. That's all I'm saying. That's all it is. Yeah? Now, speaking of Anguilla, again, I must say that I'm very impressed with what I am seeing thus far as the sponsorships that are coming in for the Anguilla Summer Festival, Anguilla's Carnival. I know it's the 50th anniversary, so we expect that there will be some mega sponsorships coming in. So the team, it is not a one-man job. So the team that is working at the Anguilla Summer Festival and the government of Anguilla in putting off such a great event, festivities coming up, your sponsorship, I'm telling you, you put other islands to shame who are celebrating 50 years for their festival. Davida Beach Club gave a check of $174,200. Let me repeat that figure. $174,200. I can't even call it. $174,200. Right? And that's from one business place given to the Anguilla Summer Festival. And this is for media, international public relations. Right? I don't know if THG Network is involved in that payment. Is included. I don't know if THG is included in that payment, but I know there are some petty people called politicians around the place that once you say something that they don't agree with, we'll never see the light of any of that penny, right? But over $174,000, that's great. And for Davida's Beach Club, I must mention this. I know it may sound a kind of way, but it must be said, because normally when we see these big, large amounts as far as sponsorship given to Carnival or given to some big organization or given to government, it's always from a regional or foreign entity. But I am very proud And as someone mentioned it to me yesterday, and they're very proud, Anguillians are very proud, to know that such an amount in sponsorship of $174,200. And it's all local. That Davida's is local, 100% Anguillian, and it's the oldest Anguilla hotel. From my understanding, it was Lloyd's Bed and Breakfast, the island's first hotel. And the Lloyd family opened this Anguilla hotel back in 1959. Yeah, 15 years before Carnival started. I mean, I am not Anguillian, and I'm even feeling proud of this sponsorship from this local institution. Let me take this opportunity, because sometimes some people, you guys make a lot of noise every day in Anguilla. And nothing wrong in making noise, but you guys make a lot of noise in Anguilla when it comes to politics especially. So what I'm saying to you, your businesses out there, I encourage you. I know, things may not be as they used to be, but if Davida's can do it, I'm not saying to do exactly what they did, but for Anguilla Summer Festival, put aside the politics, put aside the division, and just celebrate as one. 50 years. 50 years. Don't look at who's going to get the credit. In human nature, somebody going to say this person did the best and that person did not, or whatever the case may be. Just come together as one. And I challenge and encourage, I'm encouraging the businesses on Anguilla to go out in your numbers, call up the festival's office, and make your big donation today. And not only that, I think it was 2 months ago, we've heard of the vehicles, 3 vehicles from Motor World, I believe it is, from St. Martin for the Anguilla Summer Festival, and then KFC for the Prince and Princess show, and then Digicel, $80-something thousand for fitness and getting everybody prepped and ready for Anguilla Summer Festival. So they are investing over $80,000 in those activities. So it's a lot happening with the festival, and of course the Lanson Bowl Cultural Center. Even though I'm hearing of some challenges, okay, we probably expected that, but they're pushing forward. Yeah, and I'm sure that there are going to be some other major sponsors coming forward for Anguilla Summer Festival 50. These guys, they are going all out for the Anguilla Summer Festival. We don't talk rumors around here, but I'll just put it out there in the air. They say that the chairman of the Anguilla Summer Festival, rumor has it that he may run for office in the next election. And if that's the case, I can understand the strategy behind that. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, that's it as far as the Anguilla end. A lot's happening there over the next couple of months. Carnival, boat racing, politics, election. It's all happening on the beautiful island of Anguilla. Now let's continue, and I have to tell you about a fatal Newtown hit and run in St. Kitts under police investigation. The police are investigating a fatal traffic accident that occurred on April 28th between 4 and 5 a.m. on the Newtown Bay Road in the vicinity of the solid fuel facility on St. Kitts. Police officers arrived on the scene and observed emergency medical services technicians attending to one male who was identified as Marlon Francis. He was transported to the Joseph N. France General Hospital for medical attention. Regrettably, Mr. Francis succumbed to his injuries shortly thereafter. The crime scene unit of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force processed the scene and collected some items of evidential value. An investigation into the incident is now in progress, and the public will be kept updated accordingly. Should anyone have information about the driver or drivers or vehicles involved in this matter, you're urged to contact the nearest police station or call the Crime Stoppers Hotline 707. Finally, in our news this morning out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Vincent's government denied landing rights to a charter plane operated by Turpial Airlines that carried over 60 Cubans to land at their international airport there. This is the second time in the month a government denied landing rights to charter flights with migrants seeking to make their way to the U.S. southern border. Turpial Airlines is a Venezuelan airline that is a hub in Venezuela. According to Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves, we didn't give permission for an airline out of Venezuela. A charter called Turpial would have brought 60-plus Cubans out of Venezuela to transit somewhere else, Gonsalves said on Sunday. Gonsalves said that the government will not allow St. Vincent to be a transit stop for individuals who want to go to other places, according to the St. Vincent Times. On the face of it, it appears as though the transit is for some purpose connected to onward migration. Gonsalves said that St. Vincent and the Grenadines has no restrictions on Cubans, but people coming in mass is an entirely different story. We don't have visa restrictions on Cubans, but the Cubans who come here and work, which is a relatively small number, have to get work permits. That is a different story than people coming in mass. We would not allow that. Gonsalves announced on Sunday, April 7th, that 2 charter flights, one from Nigeria with 374 passengers and a few Nigerians, and another from Dubai that traveled through Morocco on to St. Vincent, had their landing rights denied. Okay? But these people are crazy. So don't they make these plans before they decide to get into someone's airspace and want to land on the airport? And, Gonsalves, he said, no way. 2 flights, 3 flights in a month, trying to land with over almost 500 passengers total into St. Vincent? Nah, Uncle Ralph will not have that. And I agree with him totally. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our news for this morning. It is Tuesday, 30th April, and we have to give thanks and praise. We've made it to the end of another month. My name is Mervyn Hanley. Please join me again tomorrow morning, God's willing, at 6 o'clock Atlantic Standard Time, or whenever it's convenient for you to be logged on to our network's channel, THG Network, to view or listen to the news. The news this morning, of course, was brought to you the kind of compliments of Carl & Sons on St. Martin, Delta Petroleum, and Ephesus on Nevis. God bless you and have a wonderful day. Carl & Sons have been serving the people of St. Martin for over 40 years, and the food and service get better and better. From early morning, customers flock to the bakery for their favorite sandwiches, cakes, pastries, you name it. First thing at mornings and last thing at afternoons, folks rush to Carl & Sons for simply the best. There are 2 locations, Colbay and on the Punfill. In Colbay, the opening hours are Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. On Saturdays, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. And on Sundays, 6:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Opening hours on the Punfill, Monday to Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, 6:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. We also cater for weddings, parties, special events, whatever the occasion. It's Carl & Sons. Our staff, we are always happy to serve you. Call us today, the Colbay location, 721-544-2462. That's 721-544-2462. Or in Phillipsburg, 721-543-1059. That's 721-543-1059. It's Carl & Sons Bakery. We are here to serve you. Nevis, satisfy your sweet tooth at Feases, the cozy spot in Charlestown, known for its mouth-watering ice cream and dal parade. We are open Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come in and sample our patties, sandwiches, air-fried wings with fries, hot dogs, rotis, and now our famous smoothies, in all flavors of course. And don't forget to try the famous bus-up shut and saltfish. It's Feases, located at the entrance to the Cotton Jewelry Mall in Charlestown, Nevis. They're also available by phone, so place your order by calling 1-869-665-2458. Don't ask about the rest, just try the best.